What if you could unlock 145K in 0% business funding without giving up equity, taking on risks from your investors, or draining any of your cash flow? And what if I told you that 90% of business owners are leaving this money on the table simply because they don't know the right sequence to follow? Most entrepreneurs think they need perfect credit, years in business, or massive revenue to access serious capital. That's completely wrong. The truth is, the key isn't making more money. It's about structuring your business profile the right way to access capital that most business owners don't even know exists. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the exact strategy that I've used to help over 200 business owners secure more than 20 million in business funding, including one client who got 145K in 0% to scale their real estate business, all without touching their personal cash. And by the end of this video, you'll have the complete roadmap to potentially secure six figures in business funding, even if you're starting with limited capital or credit challenges. So let's get right into it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Chess. I've personally secured well over 400K in business funding for my own businesses, and over the past 3 years, I've helped business owners and entrepreneurs just like yourself secure funding for their ventures and their business. So everything I teach here is based on real world experiences. But here's what makes my approach different. Everything I teach here is, like I said, based on real world experiences and not theories from someone who's never actually done it. I've been through the rejections and the credit pools, the bank relationships, and the trials and errors, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. And most importantly, I've systemized it into a repeatable process that works whether you're in real estate, e-commerce, consulting, or any other business. So before we dive into the success story, let me ask you something. How many opportunities have you missed because you didn't have the capital ready to go? Maybe it was a real estate deal or a wholesale deal that could have netted you 30K, but you couldn't move fast enough. Maybe it was inventory for your e-commerce business during peak seasons, but cash was tied up. Or maybe it was hiring that a key team member could have doubled your revenue, but you worried about the cash flow. And this is the hidden cost of not having access to capital. And it's costing most businesses hundreds of thousands in missed opportunities every single year. And the worst part of this is the money is out there. The banks are literally sitting on trillions of dollars they need to lend out to meet their regulatory requirements. But here's the catch. They only lend to businesses that know how to present themselves the right way. So let me introduce you to Derek James. He's a real estate investor based in Pennsylvania. When Derek first reached out to me, he was super frustrated. He'd been wholesaling and flipping properties for about 3 years, but he was stuck in what I call the cash flow ceiling. And what his situation looked like was he was doing about 2 to 3 deals per quarter, making decent money, around 15 to 20K per deal. But every single deal required him to use his own personal capital or he finds hard money lenders at like a 12, 15% interest rate. He had solid business credit score, a decent personal credit around 720. His LLC was properly structured, but here's the problem. When a great deal comes up, like a distressed property, for example, that needed to close in 7 days, he either had to pass on it or scramble to find expensive financing. This was costing him big time. Just 2 months before he found me, he had to pass on a wholesale deal that would have netted him probably 45K because he couldn't get a 25K in hard money or earnest money together fast enough. And that's when he realized something. He had to change. When Derek joined our program, he told me, Chess, I've got deals in my pipeline consistently, but I can't scale past where I am now without real capital ready to go. I'm tired of being that guy who finds the great deals but can't move on them. Here's exactly what we did for Derek. We went through our phase one, which is our credit optimization. We analyzed his personal credit report and his business as well, and found his utilization was roughly around 23% across his personal cards. So we helped him strategically pay down the balances to get under 10% utilization. We identified two old accounts that were hurting his credit age and helped them optimize those. Then we went ahead and reviewed his business structure. His LLC was good, but his NICS code was listed as real estate, which banks see as very high risk. So we switched it to business management services, a much more bank friendly to a lot of lenders. We updated his business credit profile with Dun Bradstreet, Experian Business, Equifax Business to look a little bit more attractive. So then we went for sequencing. We didn't just spray and pray. We applied with specific sequence using the banks to actually lend in Pennsylvania. So we started building relationships with the banks like PNC, where he had his business checking account. And we used my application sequencing method to stack approvals before the banks could even see others' inquiries. Within 45 days, Here's exactly what Derek was approved for. He got the Chase Business Inc. Limited at 35K, 0%. He got the PNC credit card for 25K at 0% for 12 months as well. He got a Wells Fargo business line of credit at 40K at prime rate. Bank of America, he got 20K with their cards, and we combine them. US Bank, we got roughly around 15K at 12 months, 0%. American Express, we got two cards. We got the Blue Business Plus for 10K and also the Platinum card, which totals around 145K. But here's what's even better. Now, Derek used his capital to transform his business. The immediate impact was he used the 30K to flip a property that generated him 85K in profit within 4 months. He invested 15K in mail, and that generated him 47 leads and 3 wholesale deals. And he hired a full-time acquisition specialist for $4,000 a month. That brings in an extra 2 to 3 deals per month. In a 6 month result, he went from 2 to 3 deals per quarter to 3 to 4 deals per month. He increased his average quarterly profits from 45K to 180K. He built a cash reserve that allows him to move on deals within 24 hours. Now Derek is not just an investor. He's built a scalable real estate business that generates consistent cash flow. And he's never again had to pass on deals due to lack of capital. But here's what separates those who get funded from those who actually use the funding to scale. So getting 145K in business credit is step one. Turning it into usable cash without getting shut down is step two. So we help Derek liquidate a portion of that funding into cash so he can actually move fast on the property deals without touching his personal savings or raising capital from lenders. And here's the thing. A lot of investors try to do this part themselves. They try to pull cash from a 0% card, move money around with cash apps, or run manufactured spending strategies they picked up on forums. But here's the truth. One wrong move, your account can get frozen, flagged, or even shut down completely. We don't want that. You could lose the cards and credit line and relationship with the banks, and sometimes even trigger a full balance to be due immediately. That's why we offer a done-for-you liquidation strategy that converts your credit cards into cash safely, legally, and without killing your profile, all within 1 to 5 business days. And it starts with having the right funding strategy, knowing exactly which banks to approach in the right order. So how did Derek do it? And why do 95% of business owners miss these funding opportunities? So let me share with you the biggest 3 mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make and why they're keeping you from the capital that you deserve. Number one, the desperation application. So most business owners wait until they're in crisis mode before they apply for funding. Your inventory supplier wants payments in 10 days, or you found a deal that you need to close within the next week. So you rush. You rush to apply for credit. But here's the problem. Banks can smell desperation. They can smell that from a mile away like sharks. When you apply from a position of weakness, you're essentially telling the banks, I'm not prepared. I don't plan ahead. And I might be a risky borrower, so something we don't want to be. But when you apply from a position of strength, when you don't desperately need the money, banks actually compete to give you better terms. All right. Mistake number two, the spray and pray method. I see this all the time. Business owners apply to 10 to 15 banks in the same week, hoping that something sticks. This destroys your credit profile because you rack up multiple hard inquiries. Banks see that you're shopping around desperately, and each denial makes the next bank more likely to deny you. You burn through your available credit applications. The right approach to this strategy and for the future is applying to the right banks in the right order with the right timing. All right. Mistake number three, the do it yourself disaster. So most entrepreneurs figure this out themselves by Googling best business credit card or asking in Facebook groups. And here's what they don't realize. Generic advice doesn't work because every business situation is completely different. A real estate investor in Pennsylvania needs a completely different strategy than the e-commerce business in California. The banks that work for one industry might not work for another, so they might automatically deny. So without insider knowledge of each bank's specific requirement, approval criteria, and timing windows, you're basically gambling with your credit profile. So before we dive into the specific banks and my approval strategies, you need to understand something crucial. Funding is never about the money, it's about the foundation. So banks, they don't lend to businesses that need the money. They lend to businesses that are positioned to multiply money. This is what I call the foundation of business funding. And if any one of these 3 elements are wrong, you'll get denied regardless of your credit score. So foundation number one, bulletproof entity structure. Isn't just about having an LLC, it's about having the right kind of LLC, structured the right way too. So here's what most people get wrong: having a bad LLC name. Examples of this is, for example, like Smith Real Estate Investments. This screams high risk to the banks. Or Quick Cash Funding LLC. This is an instant red flag. Or Crypto Solutions. You might get denied for that. Emergency Repair Services. It could be like a credit repair. Some good examples could be like Summit Business Solutions, Business Management Group, Lee Consulting Services, Atlantic Holding Group, some things like that. The name should be generic enough to apply in multiple different industries. And professionally sounding, free of high risk keywords. And it's also easy to remember and spell as well. Pro tip for you: if you currently have an LLC with a risky name, you can either form a new one or file a doing business as a DBA to create more bank friendly uh, name for the banks. Number two, strategic industry classification. So your NICS code. You may hear this a lot. This is where most business owners accidentally sabotage themselves. So your NICS code tells the banks exactly what industry you're in. Some industries are automatically flagged as high risk. Here are some high risk NICS codes to avoid. You don't want real estate. The bank see this as very risky. Financial services, it could be nightmares for you guys. Restaurants, I was in the restaurant industry. You do not get approved for anything. Constructions could be risky too. Transportation could be very risky as well. Some low risk NICS codes you could use that I've seen a lot of people get approved for right now is going to be management consulting services, all other professional, scientific, and technological services, office administrative services. If you need help with that, just put a comment below. I'll help you out. Try to figure out which NICS code kind of works for your business. So here's the key: you can legally operate in any industry while using a broader NICS code for banking purposes. For example, Derek flips houses, but his NICS code is business management services because he manages his real estate portfolio as a business. Makes sense, right? All right, number three, foundation. Personal credit optimization. So your personal credit score is the gateway to business funding, especially in the first few years of business. But it's not just about the score. It's about the entire credit profile. So you want at least a 720 credit score. You want payment history to be at least, pretty solid, no late payments. You want to set up auto pay on all your accounts, pay 2 to 3 days before your statement date. Never miss a payment. Even if $25 late fee can drop your score by a whole 50 points. Credit utilization under 10%. That's my golden kind of standard. Keep individual card utilization under 10% as well. I will pay down your balances before your statement date. Something super, super important. If you do want it to report next month and not the month after. Credit history length. So you want to keep old accounts open even if you don't use them anymore. That's why don't close accounts. If you don't have a lot of age, you could be an authorized user on accounts with long history. And remember, don't close accounts right before applying for funding. Your credit mix. Having a mix of credit cards and installment loans could help you as well. Not very important though. Don't go crazy, but some variety helps. New credit is going to be impacting on your credit profile as well. You want to limit your inquiries to be at least less than 3 within the last 6 months. So use pre-qualification tools when it's available so you can know what the lenders are actually approving you or not approving you for. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, Chess, my credit isn't quite at 720 yet. Don't worry, I got you. So most of my clients start with credit scores in the 700 range, but if you're under that, you want to get to, let's say, 720 or better. One of the fastest ways to boost your credit score is through authorized user trade lines. Essentially, you're piggybacking on someone else's excellent credit history. So inside my free school community, we've actually built a authorized user marketplace where you can get access to high limit, low utilization, and good amount of age trade lines that can potentially boost your credit score around 50 to 100 points in about 30 to 45 days. This isn't some shady credit repair scheme. These are legitimate business relationships with people who actually have great credit, excellent credit, and are willing to add you as authorized user. But there is a fee for this. Here's how it works. You browse available trade lines based on your credit limit amount, age, and utilization. You purchase the trade lines that fit your needs, and you're added as an authorized user with positive history that reports on your credit. Your score increases, and once you're ready, you can remove the account. This is perfect if you're in the mid 600s and you need to cross that 700 line, or you don't have a lot of age in your business or credit limit. So click the link in the description or the pinned comments to join our free school community. And once you're inside, head to the resources tab and check out the AU Marketplace. You'll also get access to our credit monitoring tools, score tracking templates, and a community of entrepreneurs all working towards the same goal. All right, cool. Now that you understand the foundation, let's talk about the fun part. the actual banks and specific strategies we use to get approvals. So here's what you need to understand. Not all banks are created equal. Some banks love lending to new businesses, others won't touch you at all. Without 2 years of tax returns, they won't touch you. Some banks have automatic approval systems, and others require relationship banking. So some banks are generous with credit limits, others are stingy but easy to get approved with. The key is knowing which banks to approach, in what order as well, and with what strategy. So, like you guys been waiting, here are 7 banks we use in our system to help business owners nationwide secure 100K plus in business funding, including the specific insider tips that most people don't know. So, bank number 1, the infamous Chase Bank, the foundation builder. Chase should be your first stop for business funding, and here's why. They offer multiple 0% APR business cards, including the Inc. Business Cash, 0% for 12 months, and the Inc. Business Unlimited, 0% for 12 months as well. But here's what makes Chase special. They're relationship focused, which means once you're in the system, it's easier to get additional products. But Chase does have some hidden rules that you have to keep in mind of. The 524 rule. If you open 5 plus personal cards in the last 24 months, you'll be automatically denied. So your personal or business applications are separate, but they still count toward the 524 rule. They do prefer Experian for business applications. They also prefer businesses that bank with them. My Chase strategy: open up a Chase business checking account first. Deposit at least $1,000, ideally 5,000 plus. The more the better. Wait 30 days. This is very crucial. And if you don't wait over 30 days, you often get denied. I'll go with the unlimited first. If you get approved, then I'll go with Business Cash as well. After 6 months, you may qualify for their business line of credit. A pro insider tip for you: Chase does have a reconsideration line for business applications. So if you get denied, call the reconsideration line within 30 days. Ask them to reconsider. Many denials can be overturned with a simple phone conversation. Pretty cool. So bank number 2, PNC Bank, the regional powerhouse, what I call it. PNC is fantastic for business funding, especially if you're located in Pennsylvania, Ohio, or other states where PNC has a strong presence. They offer 0% credit cards and business credit cards. After 6 months of banking relationship, you can qualify for their no-dog business line of credit up to 100K. So the requirements a little bit different. They do have a business checking account with at least a $500 average balance minimum. Average, the more the better always. They pull from Experian, and they prefer businesses in their geolocation or their geo footprint. So you want at least a 700 plus credit score with them as well. PNC strategy: I will open up a business checking account with at least $1,000. The more the better. Like I said, set up direct deposit or regularly deposit to show activity. I'll wait 30 days before applying with them. I will also start with the business credit card first, and in about 6 months, I'll go ahead and apply for their business line of credit. I will use their business relationship manager if available. They have authority to override some denials as well. And a pro insider for you: they have something called balance transfer on some of their business credit cards. You can use this to access your credit lines or cash for like a 3% fee, which is much cheaper than cash advances. All right. Bank number 3, Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo is my go-to recommendation when it comes to business lines of credit because they offer small business advantage lines of credit up to 50K, relatively easy, and the approval criteria for Wells Fargo is a lot easier to get than you think. Right? They pull from Experian, and they only pay interest on what you use. You could use it for any type of business purposes. So the Wells Fargo strategy, I would not apply. Don't apply online if you don't have about 60 days of relationship already built. If you don't, I will apply in person or in branch. So bring your business formation documents, your tax returns, whatever it may be. Ask specifically about their business line of credit as well. So also be prepared to explain how you use the funds, obviously for business growth. Tip for you: I will go into branch, ask for a manager. They have a lot more flexible than their online system. So if you do get denied online, if you go on in person, they'll be able to kind of help you see what's wrong there. All right. Bank number 4, Truist. So Truist is formerly known as BB&T, and SunTrust is one of the most flexible banks when it comes to credit scores. They'll approve business credit cards. I've seen as low as 680, and they're even friendly to borrowers with older bankruptcies, like 4+ years of discharge. So great products I've seen with them. You could get up to 2 cards, and their limits, they give you up to 25K. But their business line of credit, they'll give you at least up to 100K. So strategy with them, I would apply in phone or in person. I will avoid the online application. Have a clear business plan ready to explain. Be honest about your credit challenges, but emphasize your business growth. They do proof of maker facts, so be careful of that. Truist has some of the best reconsideration procedures in the industry, though, what I've seen. If you're denied, you could call their business department, ask to speak to their underwriters. They often just need additional documents to approve everything for you. All right. Number five, banks. US Bank. So, US Bank is more of a conservative bank than a lot of other banks, but they're worth the effort because of their limits. They tend to be higher once you're approved. So, build that relationship up first and then apply for the next ones. So they do require at least a $500 minimum deposit. The more the better, obviously. They prefer 10K plus in your account. 720 credit score is required, and they do approve from TransUnion. So my strategy for them: open up a business checking account, maintain a healthy deposit balance for 30 days plus, and you could go for their platinum card or the triple cash card. And after 6 months, you could go for additional products. So I like to go with my relationship banker there. So usually they have a lot higher chance of getting a higher limit than if you would do it yourself. So a pro tip for you for US Bank, they do offer credit line increases every 6 months. So what I would do is set a calendar reminder and request increases regularly. I love US Bank because they have up to 18 months of 0%. All right. Next is going to be Bank of America. I would say this is my stacking champion. Bank of America is perfect for what we call our credit stacking method, getting multiple cards approved at the same time, and then we'll combine them all. So I would say they're pretty unique than other banks since you could combine all limits into one card. What I've seen for the business cards, they pull from Experian or TransUnion, depending where you are. They're very generous with their limits, but you have to have a great relationship at least for 90 days with them. So I'll open up a checking account with 1,500 deposit plus. The more the better, obviously. Season for 30 to 90 days. Apply for one card at a time. You get approved for the last one. You probably have a high chance of getting the next one. So these cards do have around 9 to 12 months of 0%. So be very strategic of how you do things. Beautiful thing about them is you can keep stacking more and more. Right? Bank number seven, American Express. I would say they're the soft pull king. Is they're very unique because if you have a relationship with them, they're gonna soft pull for any products you have, and it's not gonna affect or hurt your personal credit score. So I would say some advantage is gonna be that soft pull. They give you great high limits. Two cards you could go for is gonna be the American Express Plus and the Blue Business Cash also. They have excellent customer service. They're great. If you do want anything on their side, you just have to give them a call and ask. After about 61 days, you can ask for a credit limit increase, about 3 times of your current limit. So very cool there. You can also transfer your credit limits from one card to another. Pro tip for you: American Express, they do have a 2 and 90 rule, so you can only get 2 credit cards every 90 days, but charge cards like your business gold or platinum don't count towards the limit. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Getting approved for individual cards is one thing, but getting approved for 100K plus in total credit requires a strategic approach. Here's how it works. Open a business checking account, put your target banks, fund your accounts, let them season, ensure your credit utilization is optimized, then I'll apply for the banks that we just talked about, one at a time. Exact order as well. I will start with Chase because they're the most stingy when it comes to it. So after all this, I will handle any reconsideration calls, request credit limit increases on your approved cards. The key is timing. You want to get your applications in before the banks can even see each other's increase, but you also don't want to appear desperate by applying everywhere at once. Here's something most people don't talk about. Even with a perfect execution, you'll probably get denied by 30 to 40% of banks, and that's normal. And it's not a reflection of your business or your credit worthiness. Banks have different risk appetites, different approval criteria, and different seasonal lending patterns. When you get denied, here's exactly what to do. We're not panic. Denials are part of the process. Call the reconsideration line within 24 to 48 hours. Ask specific questions like, what specifically caused the denials? What would I need to change it to get approved? Can you reconsider it with additional documents? This will help you out in the future. So be prepared to provide your bank statements showing cash flow, business license or other information documents, explanation of your business model or how you're going to grow it, your tax returns if it's requested. So I've seen dozens of denials get overturned simply because someone took the time to call and explain their business. So getting approved is just the beginning. Here's how to maximize the credit you receive. Credit limit increases. I will request increases every 6 months. Use the cards regularly, but keep the utilization low and show consistent payment history. Some banks, like American Express, allow online limit increase requests. Balance transfer strategies. Many 0% APRs allow balance transfers. You can balance transfer from higher interest business loans. onto the business credit card. So some cards offer balance transfer checks that you can deposit as cash. So next is going to be building relationships with the banks. Use your business checking accounts actively by setting up your direct deposits, having operational operational activity in there, show regular activity. Before we wrap up, let me show the most common mistakes I see that destroy otherwise good applications. Number one is going to be inconsistent information. Make sure your business name, address, revenue projections are identical across all applications. Banks share information, and inconsistencies are red flags. Mistake number two, underreporting your revenue. Many entrepreneurs underreport projected revenue to be conservative. This can actually hurt you. So banks lend based on your ability to pay. So higher realistic revenue projections lead to higher credit limits. Makes sense, right? Mistake number three, applying during bank tightening periods. Banks tighten lending criteria during certain times of the year, like end of the year or fiscal quarters. So during economic uncertainties too. So quarter one and three has better approvals. Number four, not following up your applications and letting it sit. So applications, you don't know what's happening. So remember to call and see what's happening. Mistake number five, using your credit immediately and getting a 25 credit line and immediately maxing out sends red flags to other banks. Use your credit strategically and keep the utilization low. And here's what most people miss about business funding. It's not about the money, it's about the option to have it. When you have access to 100K plus in credit, you're not just getting access to cash, you're getting speed to market. You can move on opportunities immediately instead of waiting for cash flow or loan approval. Negotiating power. When you get paid cash, you get better deals from suppliers, contractors, or even real estate sellers. Risk management. You have buffer for unexpected expenses or market downturns, like your growth capital. You can invest into marketing, inventory, or team members that generate more revenue than the cost of the capital. So credit building could be another one. Business credit helps you separate your personal and your business finances and builds out your business credit profile too for future larger loans. All right. So you've got the complete roadmap. Here's what you need to do next. You need to follow up on this. Week one, foundation of your audit. Review your LLC structured name and your structure. Check your current NICS code and pull your personal credit reports from all three bureaus. You want to calculate your current utilization and fix everything up. And then you optimize by paying down your personal credit card balances to under 10%. Update your business information with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, whatever it may be, to make sure everything is accurate. Open business checking accounts with your local or target banks. Then make sure your credit is all improved. If you do need authorized user, you can join the school marketplace, add some authorized user to give you some better strength in your business or your personal credit, actually. Strategic applications will follow up after that. So follow the timeline that I outlined, handle reconsideration calls if needed, document everything for your future reference and your future applications. Then you want to maximize and maintain your credit limit. So use your credit strategically for business growth, build relationships with the banks and business bankers to plan for your future rounds. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Chess, it sounds great, but I don't want to mess things up. What if I apply to the wrong banks at the wrong times and this hurts my credit? What if I get denied and I don't know why? I get it. This stuff can feel overwhelming, especially when there's real money on the line. Now, that's exactly why I created two different ways to work with me directly. You have option one, which is the Funding Accelerator Mentorship. This is going to be a 90-day mentorship program where I personally walk you through every step of the process. And here's what you get. You get the personal strategy session to analyze your specific situation, a custom funding roadmap based on your business and your location. You get weekly coaching calls to handle any questions and challenges. You get direct access to me, and you also get direct access to community too. All the templates, scripts, documents, resources you need, reconsideration call scripts, and phone numbers as well. You also get a 90-day money back guarantee. And option two, we have a done for you funding service. This is for business owners who want the results but don't want to really do the work themselves or are looking for a lot more funding. My team and I will handle everything. We pre-qualify you for up to 8 different credit products for up to $4 million if you do qualify. Complete the credit analysis and optimization plan for you. Business profile setup and optimizing your profile. Strategic bank applications on your behalf and funding as fast as 24 hours to 5 business days as fast. So both options have limited spots available because I work with clients personally and there's only so much time on my schedule. Also, I have option 3, which is cash liquidation services. For my real estate investors specifically, we offer our done for you liquidation strategy that converts your business credit cards into usable cash safely and legally. So if you're a real estate investor who needs capital for deals, marketing, renovation, and you want to turn your credit cards into real cash the right way without risking all your accounts getting shut down, this service handles the entire process for you. So if you're interested in any of these programs, click the link in the description or the pinned comments below to fill out a quick application. And on the application, you're going to tell me your current business situation, how much funding you're looking for, what you plan on using the funding for, and last, your current credit score range. I'll personally review every application, and if I think you're a good fit, someone from my team will reach out within 24 to 48 hours to schedule a strategy call with you, or you can schedule on the calendar. So, fair warning for you, we are on the premium side of things. So, if paying for a service is not your thing, I still have free content I release that you can check out and put the puzzle pieces together. But when you consider that we're talking about potentially securing 100K plus in business funding that could transform your business, I think you'll agree it's a pretty good investment. Plus, both programs come with guarantees, so your risk is minimal. And look, here's the bottom line. Every single day you wait to get this funding in place is a day you're missing potential opportunities. Maybe it's a great deal that comes up within the next week. Maybe it's a marketing campaign that you could 10x your business. Maybe it's hiring that key person who could take your business to the next level. The business that scale fastest aren't necessarily the ones with the best products or services. They're the ones that can move quickly when the opportunity arises and that requires having capital ready to go. So you got two choices. Choice one, try to figure this out on your own, potentially make costly mistakes, and maybe get some funding eventually. Or step two, follow the proven system I've laid out either on your own or with my help and potentially have 100K plus in funding within the next 60 to 90 days. So the choice is yours. If you're ready to get started on your own, or go back to this video, take notes, and start with the action plan I'll outline. And if you want help, click the link below, fill out the application. Either way, stop making excuses and start taking action. Your business and your future self will thank you. So this is Cashflow Chess. I know this is a longer one, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.